Welcome to the Workers' Environmental Awareness Program for the Lake Francis Dam Geotechnical Instrumentation and Automated Data Acquisition Systems project. The project site and vicinity provide habitat for special status species, including foothill yellow-legged frog, California red-legged frog, northwestern pond turtle, California spotted owl, and nesting birds protected by the Migratory Bird Treaty Act and Fish and Game Code. Habitat used by these animals and the animal itself shall be protected to the fullest extent possible. Violations can lead to significant fines and even potential jail time. Violations may also shut down a project for an indefinite amount of time. Project biologist has been given the authority to pause work at any time to prevent a possible violation. If any wildlife species are observed, or if you have questions about an area of the project, contact the project biologist. Contact info for the project biologist can be found on the brochure as well as at the end of this presentation. To start, let's talk about some general avoidance and minimization measures. All personnel working on the project site must have attended this or another environmental awareness training. Work limits in environmentally sensitive areas must be identified and flagged prior to any work activity. Hand tools shall be used to trim vegetation. Larger equipment shall not be used for vegetation removal unless already described in the project description. Vehicle access shall be limited to predetermined ingress and egress corridors on existing roads. All other stream areas adjacent to the work area shall remain off limits to vehicles and equipment. Storage and staging areas for equipment, materials, fuels, lubricants, and solvents shall be located outside of a stream channel and banks. Stationary equipment, such as motors, pumps, generators, and compressors, located within or adjacent to the channel, shall be positioned over drip pans. Vehicles shall be moved away from the channel prior to refueling and lubrication. Spoil and fill storage shall not be located within a stream or where it will be washed into the stream. Work shall not be conducted during or following large rainfall events. This is typically greater than a quarter inch of rainfall within 24 hours. All ground disturbance, project vehicles, and equipment shall be confined to construction zone limits. Trash and food items will be contained in closed, secured containers to avoid attracting wildlife. Avoid using toxic substances that could potentially harm wildlife. Proper hazardous spill cleanup materials must be available on the project site during construction. Equipment refueling and maintenance shall take place in designated staging areas. And construction equipment shall be inspected periodically to prevent the introduction, transfer, and spread of aquatic, riparian, and terrestrial invasive species. Cement, concrete, petroleum products, or any other substances associated with project-related activities must be prevented from contaminating soil, riparian vegetation, or entering protected wetlands. Finally, take is defined as pursue, shoot at, poison, wound, kill, capture, trap, collect, molest, or disturb. Harassment with or without handling of state or federal listed species is considered take and is a violation. Let's now talk about some of the species that can be found on site. The California spotted owl is a federally proposed as threatened species in California Department of Fish and Wildlife species of special concern. It's a large brown and gray owl with heavy spotting on breast. It also has an X mark between the eyes. A subspecies of spotted owl occurring primarily on the west slope of the Sierra Nevada range. It typically occurs from 1,000 to 8,000 feet in elevation in ponderosa or mixed coniferous hardwood forests. It typically prefers more complexity and old growth. If this animal is observed within the work area prior to or during construction, work must be halted until the animal has left the work area on its own volition. If an owl has been determined to be nesting within the project or in the vicinity, a no-work buffer zone will be established in coordination with CFW and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Nesting birds and raptors, in addition to the spotting owl, are all protected under the Migratory Bird Treaty Act and California Fish and Game Code. Activities beginning between February 1st and August 31st require that a qualified biologist conduct a pre-construction survey to detect any nests for birds. The survey shall include areas within 500 feet of the project for raptors and 100 feet for non-raptors. The survey shall be conducted within 15 calendar days of any construction. If any nests are discovered, buffers will be established for active nests, and if construction activities experience a lapse in activity of 14 days, the survey must be repeated. The northwestern pond turtle is federally proposed as threatened and is a California species of special concern. It's the only native freshwater turtle, in addition to the southwestern pond turtle, which were once considered the same species. It can be distinguished from red-eared sliders by the lack of a red ear mark on its head, which you can see in the top right of this slide. Western pond turtles can occur in a variety of freshwater habitats, but typically are found in marshes, lakes, ponds, and slow-moving streams. They nest in the uplands, however, and can be found as far as 1,300 feet from water. The California red-legged frog is federally threatened and a California species of special concern. It typically inhabits backwaters, ponds, and more heavily vegetated habitat than its conspecific, the foothill yellow-legged frog. It lays eggs in deeper pools attached to emergent vegetation. Biological monitor must be present when activities occur within 100 feet of suitable habitat for California red-legged frog. The species will also be targeted during pre-construction surveys, but if any California red-legged frogs are found during the project, the qualified biologist will notify CFW and the Fish and Wildlife Service immediately and consult on appropriate actions to be taken before construction begins or resumes. The foothill yellow-legged frog is threatened under the California Endangered Species Act and is a species of special concern. It inhabits rocky streams, creeks, and banks of main stem rivers. They lay eggs in baseball and softball-sized clumps along the channel margins in slower-moving water. They're very cryptic species and typically go undetected until they're spotted fleeing away from any activity. The species will be targeted during pre-construction surveys as well, and if they are found during these surveys or during the project, work shall be suspended in the area and CFW notified and consulted until compliance with CISA, California Endangered Species Act, can be demonstrated. If you have any questions, please contact the project biologist, Stephanie Castle. Her contact info can be found below, as well as on the brochure you've been given. Thanks, and have a good construction season.